I myself, B. Saishwar. I'm currently pursuing my M.Pharm Pharmacognosy from Central University of Punjab. And our chief guest today is Ananya Anurag Garu. Ananya Anurag Garu was born on 12 January in Kanpur from Uttar Pradesh. She is an amazing enthusiastic and a surely a very keen observer. She did her BSc from Medical Microbiology from Hemati Nandan Bahugan Garhwal University, and then she did her MSc from MS Ramaya University of Applied Sciences. She is not only a writer but also a certified health and wellness coach. She wrote 5 books, which includes mental health and self-development, and giving freedom from judgment, years of disgrace, purpose, and currently the book is Menstruation, a consciousness that is an experience unconsciously. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to SS Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saishwar.
Yeah, ma'am. We know that you are an academic professional, like you did your MSc from microbiology. So, what actually did get into writing? What made you to write? Is it from childhood or like what motivates you to write?
Yeah, it is from childhood. Actually, I did my bachelor's in medical microbiology and master's in molecular biology. So it's like doing research is another part of me, but writing is another part. And I write from a very early age, like from childhood itself. When I was in class one, since then I write. But the thing is, I never thought about publishing and all because I used to write small poetry. And then one fine day, like during the COVID, like obviously COVID has been a boon and a positive positive aspect for many people, and I am one of them. So I just got the time out. I took the time out from my busy schedule, and then I finally it clicked me that I have to publish. And then I just proceeded with my first book, that was Purpose, and it went really well. And like it pushed me to go further with another and then another. So it was a chain. And it was not that I like if you see that, then I have published in 1 year, I published 2 books or something, but it's not like I wrote them in a single year. It takes a lot of time to write a book and then go for publishing. So
Yeah.
it's like because I've been writing from so many years, so some of them have already been written, and it's just like I have to just publish, I have just to modify it and then bring it out. So it was all about that.
Yeah, ma'am, exactly. Actually, this COVID has been a very good session for us because I too had published my first book in a COVID session too. I actually published a book named A Journey with Jesus recently in the COVID.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, ma'am. What really made you to like think about menstruation and write a book on menstruation actually? What motivates?
Okay, so the thing is that I myself, like whenever I'm on my periods or anything, then I feel that women undergo a lot of mood swings, and obviously I too was experiencing a lot of mood swings, and then I try to find the reason out. Like I studied it in more and more detail. Like even if I'm from a biology background, still like it's not like like in your field you'll get to know everything. You have to connect the dots, right? That is why there are so many subjects out there. So I just learned that how can we tackle these mood swings and all. And then I found out some of the Ayurvedic ways, then some spiritual ways. So it went on like that. So I just kept noting all the things because it really helped me. And I personally have applied those things. So I felt that if it's it's benefiting me, then why shouldn't I share it with the others, like so that they can also benefit from it. So that's why I came up with this idea. And the most the most exciting part of this book is that as you see the subtitle, it says that a consciousness that is experienced unconsciously. So what I feel is that women they are more conscious during menstruation, because you see, when any person, is in pain or is bleeding, then he or she is more conscious about him or herself, right? So if a woman bleeds every month, so obviously she is more conscious than men. This is very obvious. And so because of this, we are more easily connected to the things around us, and we are more emotional because we get more easily connected, right? And it's all because of this process. So this consciousness is what makes us different from men. So this concept has been brought out through this book, and because of this consciousness, we can even be on another spiritual level, and it could be more easier for us to be there. So we should realize actually this power of spiritual awakening that can really, really help us, because I have personally applied myself, so I know that. So yeah, that is why I came up with this book.
Yeah, ma'am, the book is really like very nice, ma'am. It's just like simple and elaborate. It consists of all the things like hygienity and various types of yoga postures we choose for menstruation, like during the periods. It's really, really, really very nice, ma'am. Uh,
Thank you so much. I'm glad you read the entire book.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, you studied from, actually you're from Kanpur and you have studied in Bangalore. So how do you like in South India? How do you find it like difficult? Or actually, I am from South India and currently pursuing in North India. So I
Okay,
feel like a
okay.
little different culture. So how you go on like in Bangalore? How was in Bangalore?
What I personally feel is I really love South. I love Bangalore, and it's kind of my second love, because there is peace here. It's not like it's not in North, but
Yeah,
since you don't know the language much,
yeah, 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 yeah,
so you don't communicate much with people,
yeah,
and people don't communicate much
yeah,
with you. And to be very frank, I am very introvert,
yeah,
so that is why I feel more comfortable here, because I don't have to listen too much. I don't have to speak too much, and I don't like speaking unnecessarily, or because I don't like bothering about things that are not made for me. But
yeah,
even if you ignore many things, but some things really hit you, right?
yeah, yeah,
So it's like that, but here it's not the case,
yeah, yeah. Actually,
because you don't understand. So even if they are saying something, I
the
I don't know.
Yeah. Actually,
So
the
yeah,
food also would be changing. Like it would be in roti in north, and when you come on to the south, it
but
will be like
but
yeah,
the
rice
thing is,
mostly.
from my childhood itself, I used to love South Indian food.
Yeah.
Like, so my parents were like, "How are you born here? You should go there." And so, like, I'm very happy with the food here. I have
Yeah.
no problem. I have no issues. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I prefer simple food, and like for years, if you've been tasting one kind of food only, so I'm a kind of person who needs change.
Yeah,
Like,
ma'am.
not everybody is like that, but
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
kind of a person who needs change. So this change is good for me, because many new things are here. And in fact, I have started learning Kannada. So
Yeah.
because obviously you need to learn the local
Yeah,
language, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really very good if you learn that.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
communicating to people, it's very nice. And it's not just about speaking. Actually, I started with writing Kannada. So
That's
because
nice. That's
obviously,
very great.
because I love writing, so I started with writing, and then I went to speaking. All the people, they do it the other way around. They
Yeah.
first learn speaking, but
But
because I love writing, so I was like, okay, like if
yes.
I feel comfortable this way, it's fine.
Yes.
So South is not a problem for me. And in fact, see, we should more often talk about integration of North and South, and
So
not,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, and not about the differences. Because if you
Difference.
see,
Yeah, yeah,
differences are there everywhere, right? But
yeah, yeah.
we are still together is the main point here.
Yeah,
and so
man.
we should keep on that integrity.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice. Coming on to your book, like you in the chapter one itself, you describe the menstrual cycle as an astonishing and beautiful phase of each month. So, what made you talk about this? Like, just give us a brief introduction about it. Like,
Yeah, so as I told you that it can lead to spiritual awakening. So it makes it a very beautiful process, because that is the process when you are most conscious. So you learn to take care of yourself more, you focus upon yourself more. If today I ask any woman that what is the, you know, uh, time of the month when you take out some extra time for yourself, it would be when she is on her periods, right?
yeah,
Because that is the time when she focuses on her more. And this teaches her to take care of herself, take out time for herself, and we should do it. So, and if women are not doing it, many might not be doing it, many do not do it, they don't have time, they're working also, they are looking at the house also, so many things are involved, right? So they, if they're not getting time, then probably they have to take out time, they should take out time, because this is their real power.
yeah,
So it is a very beautiful process that makes you realize who you are and makes you realize your power. And this consciousness can lead to spiritual awakening. Now I'll tell you how. So, see, even if you know a pin is there, you know, you can take a safety pin or anything. It just pricks you, or any syringe, it pricks you. It pains, right?
yeah,
It brings you to
exactly.
consciousness. It makes you feel alive, right? So this process is, when a woman is bleeding so much, so she itself obviously will feel alive. So that is the time when she vibrates, she radiates a lot of energy. And I tell you, most of the energy of it is negative. By negative, I mean that the energy is not so healthy that you know, she herself feels comfortable, or she herself feels you know, pretty much awesome. So what we have to do is now, since the vibrations are higher, since the radiation is higher, we just need to modify that negativity into
Positive.
positivity. And that is all what is needed. Because the amount of energy you're radiating, the thoughts that are undergoing, that the thought process that you're undergoing, right, that will affect not only you, but the people around you. So we can use this frequency of radiation to radiate positivity instead of the negativity. So if you realize that this is not something to do just with your cycle and just with your body, but it has a connection to your consciousness, then we can surely lead to something big. And for this reason, I always say that this concept of conscious menstruation should be acknowledged by not only women, should be known by not only women but also by men, because it is very important for men to support the
Yeah,
woman
yeah,
at this
exactly.
time. And also, if a man knows all these things, if he realizes this power,
Yeah,
then obviously he can, you know, he can motivate her wife or sister or you know, or friend to you know, think positively and irradiate those positive vibes and bring out a positive change in herself or the people around her, right? Because you see, when a woman is disturbed, the entire surrounding around her is
surrounding it is
disturbed, the
different.
entire
Yeah,
family is disturbed. And when she is happy, the entire family is happy. This is very very clear from, you know, every aspect, like all of us know this,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like if a man is not happy, or if a man is not you know, he is not feeling good, then it's not like
yeah.
everyone will
It's,
start to
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like that so easily. Like they will console him, or they will also feel bad, uh, but they will not feel problematic. But when a woman has the same thing, then everyone feels a bit problematic. The frequencies or the amount of negativity becomes higher here. So like similarly, when she is happy, the amount of positivity is also higher,
Yeah, yeah,
and this is very true.
yeah.
You might also have noticed that.
Even in the houses too, when our mother gets unwell, the entire house will get like stuck. Uh, Work has been wherever they are, and it affects the entire family itself. So in the
Yeah,
woman, in the perspective of women, yeah, exactly.
exactly. And it's
Yeah,
not just about the work. It's like if mentally she
yeah,
is not
yeah,
right,
right, yeah,
uh, the other person also questions, not questions her, but uh, questions everything around her, because he or she thinks that like something big has happened.
yeah,
But the thing is that those are small things, but while we are on our periods, we undergo so many mood swings that from that small thing, we can make it to a big thing. And it's
yeah,
true, it's nothing like to say that no, we don't have mood swings, or we are always positive. No, it's not like that. It is a process that makes you feel irritated, but you have to realize the power, and only after that you can change that negativity into positivity.
yeah.
So it's very important, and that is why men should also be aware of this, so that
That's
they can help the women out,
yeah,
instead of demotivating them or getting irritated that why is she irritated. Even if she is irritated, so what? Like, you can
yeah,
go ahead and then
yeah,
help her and
yeah,
bring her out of those mood swings. Or
yeah.
I would not say bring her out of the mood swings, but you can change the direction of her
Correction.
thoughts.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Yeah,
So
actually, in the chapter 3, you discuss about like various scientific reasons for normal practices generally that goes in households in India. Like women must be kept aside during period time, and they had to sleep on some grass or separate mat. They had to eat on
yeah.
some different plate or with on leaf. So, what actually the scientific reason behind it? Can you please explain about it?
Yeah. So firstly, you're from South India. I'm very
Yeah.
sure you might be
Yeah,
knowing
yeah,
most of
exactly.
the
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Correct.
In it, yeah, we
So,
go on
okay, I'll
houses.
start with food. So, if we talk about the food, the ingredients that we specifically focus more on during these days, then the first one is haldi or turmeric. So it has antioxidant properties, right?
Yeah,
So now next is like tulsi. It also
yeah,
has
yeah,
antioxidant
yeah,
properties. Similarly, urad dal,
yeah,
and a few things like this. So whatever things contain antioxidants are recommended to women during this time. Now the reason why this is the reason is that see, during menstruation or while she is menstruating, so what happens is her body has more number of free radicals. Okay,
yeah,
so by free radicals, I mean that an electron has been knocked out of the outer orbit from the atom.
yeah,
So it tends to become a free radical, and it is highly reactive, which can react with many other uh, species. Okay, so now what happens is we have to neutralize these free radicals. Okay, because these free radicals are very damaging to the body.
yeah,
So in order to prevent that, we need antioxidants which can neutralize these free radicals. Okay, so the food that is recommended at that time are said to be focused on as antioxidants. And apart from that, things are like like it said that not to touch a child at that time, or
yeah,
uh, like avoid touching. It's
touching.
because those free radicals, since they are highly reactive, they would react with the atoms of the other person's body, and they'll gain the electron from their body and then make their radicals, they'll form free radicals in their body, right? So in this manner we can say that free radical is being transferred from your body to the other body, right? It's not about, but it's not about transferring. If you see, it's about the transfer of electrons from the other person's body to your body. So we say that there is free radical transfer. Okay, so this is the thing that happens, and then that person also, he or she, whomever she touches, that a person gains those free radicals, and then that affects the body. Okay. So in order to prevent this, firstly antioxidants, then we are not supposed to eat on metal vessels, like metal plate or anything. Instead of that, we are recommended to use palm leaves. So the reason being that, see, again, the metal, it is reactive, and it can easily react with the free radicals.
Free radicals. Yeah.
Again, and that thing happens, and it increases the amount of free radicals in your body. The metal will increase the amount of free radicals in your body. Now you're asked to you're supposed asked to lay down on a darba grass mat. So why is it so? It is to ground your free radicals. Okay, like it helps you neutralizing those free radicals. So these are few things that we are asked to follow. And I would again say that for people who keep asking that should we force these things on women, or should women do this or not, they should do. But if they don't, it's their choice. We are nobody to say anything to anybody, because after all, everyone here is an individual. Everyone on this earth is an individual, so it's their specific choice. If you have some problem, you can maintain the distance, or you can you can just motivate her to follow these things if she feels comfortable. Otherwise, see, women are working these days. They go out for jobs. So you shouldn't actually stop her. It's her it's all about priorities, right? But the thing is, small things, whenever she gets time or whenever she gets a chance, she can follow. Like instead of eating on metal vessels, she can use palm leaves. So these are few things that she can always do. Then eating antioxidants, this also she can always do. Only wearing certain things, or sleeping on a darba grass mat, only that can be a problem for some. But otherwise, the other things she can obviously follow. So, and if I talk about avoid touching others, so we all know that we don't touch many people in the whole day, right? We do not. So it's not a big problem. So if she wants, she can avoid that too also. For women who have children, I would suggest that they can they can do it, but can reduce the number of interactions, the physical interactions. That's it. So
Can you please?
because you are taking antioxidants, right? So you can increase that doses also, like the amount of antioxidants in food. That could suffice.
Please go through the diet and some exercises for during these periods.
Sure. So for diet, I would like to say that firstly, these antioxidants are very important. Apart from that, you should avoid. Firstly, I would like to mention that what all you should avoid, because what you should do, many people know, but what you shouldn't, many don't know. So you should firstly avoid taking caffeine containing products, because it leads to a lot of contractions of the uterus, and it causes a lot of pain. It increases the pain, right? So you should reduce caffeine. If you want to have tea, you can go for tea. You can go for a cup of tea in morning and then in evening, and that is enough. Like this at this period, like for these,
Right.
especially for the first 3 days,
Right.
you should avoid taking too many stimulants like
Yeah.
tea,
Okay.
coffee. Yeah. So because these days we youngsters are very much addicted to
Yeah.
at least coffee,
Coffee. Yeah.
or some are even addicted to black tea or
Yeah.
green tea. Then the frequency of drinking that has really increased, because I myself have faced that problem, because I used to drink a lot of coffee, like 7 to 8 cups a day. So it was like a big problem for me,
Yeah.
that addiction. And it's not because anyone wants to do this, anyone wants to drink it repeatedly. It's because of the workload, or because of any kind of busy schedule that you're following.
Yeah.
So you tend to drink more than eat, right?
Yeah.
So that is the thing, and so you should avoid doing all this at this time. And especially women, at this time, they should realize that all these things are not good normally also. Like in normal days also, if you
So,
are drinking 3-4 cups coffee, that
coffee.
is too much. Like
Yeah.
2 a day is enough. I would say if you can bring it down to 1 per day, it's more than enough. But
Yeah.
if you are a coffee addict, a caffeine addict, you can bring it down to 2 times a day. So
Yeah.
thankfully, I've been successful for that right now. So because it becomes very hard for you to leave caffeine, because it is a stimulant, right? And you are leaving a stimulant, and it's not so easy to leave it in a day. It takes at least 4-5 days or a week. So yeah, you have
Yeah.
to take care of this. Secondly, you should avoid eating too many carbs.
Right.
Like, taking a lot of carbohydrates, consuming a lot of carbohydrates, it just increases your craving for food more and more and more.
Yeah.
So nothing happens at last. You end up on eating unhealthy food that's
Yeah.
very harmful for your body at this time.
Yeah.
And at this time you need more proteins. And even if you are eating a bit uh, fatty food, oily food, which is based on natural fats, that is very good. Like a combination, because you need energy every day, so you can supplement the carbs with fats on
Yeah.
those days. The protein should remain the same or higher,
Yeah.
but out of carbs and fats, you should take one of the things. So at that point of time, you should go with fats, and that
Facts.
too natural fats. Because if you're going for artificial fats, then it will again be harmful for your body.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can go with natural fats. And apart from this, many small things, like you should consume a lot of fruits, and
Yeah.
you can use it in the form of juices, or you can consume a lot of vegetables in the form of soup. Actually, soup really helps. It's because whenever you're drinking something hot at this time, you feel really relaxed, because the uterus relaxes. The contraction, the number of contractions, it decreases. Okay, so I would suggest that go for soup or hot water whenever you get time. So yeah, go for hot drinks
Yeah.
instead of very cold ones. Go for hotter ones, because women might have noticed that during winters also the pain increases, because due to the cold outside, the temperature also, because of the temperature difference, what happens is that the number of contractions increases, the frequency increases. So similarly, we should consume more of hot drinks at this time, instead of the cold ones. And apart from this, few tips I would like to give, that avoid sitting in the sun. Hot doesn't mean you'll sit in the sun and then you'll feel relaxed.
Yeah.
No. UV rays, like when it's hot outside, then you should notice that UV rays are also there.
Yeah.
So again, they are, damaging your body.
But
They again, increase the number of contractions because of the, uh, change in the electron positioning in the body. So this is the reason, during periods, avoid being in the sun too much. You might feel that it's hot, I'll feel better, but it really gets worse after few minutes. Like initially you would feel better, but it would later on lead to a lot of problems.
yeah,
And yeah, because I have myself faced that. And like I used to feel relaxed in the sun. Then I read about it that, is it that we should sit in the sun so that we feel relaxed, because I am feeling relaxed. So then I found out that no, actually, what we are feeling every time is not true.
yeah.
What's going on inside your
It's-
body is, it might be something different.
yeah.
So that is what came out. So you should avoid sitting in the sun at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, ma'am. In the society, it has been made that like menstruation is a taboo, creating it such like a filthy work, and no one has been sharing their part from it. Of course, you are doing your own part by publishing a book and creating awareness on it. So, how can people or the society can we can get the change in the society regarding this aspect, like seeing it as a taboo?
See, this is where the role of education comes, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So as you know that in developed countries, if we see, it's not much of a taboo, right? So at every point of time, we realize that education is very, very important. Right? So more people need to be educated on this. And I would say that education is not just about going to school and just learning, because not everyone who is passed out from school behave like humans, and they, do very good things, and they understand everything. It's not like that,
right.
right? So these are small things that you should try communicating mouth to mouth. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you see people talk about mouth to mouth publicity. Then why not mouth to mouth knowledge or mouth to mouth literacy? Why not? So you should realize that this is the time for it, and we should start with it. We should share our knowledge with people around us, and the chain goes on. If you tell to 10 people, then those 10 will, you know
yeah.
tell further
Yes,
to
for that.
10 each, so it becomes 100. So it goes on like that. So for an exponential rise, mouth publicity is a very good thing. And for example, you're doing an interview right now, right?
Yeah,
It is a step from your side,
yeah,
because you read my book,
so, yeah,
and or you got to know about me on Google, LinkedIn, wherever you searched about these things.
yeah.
So similar to you, I've given more than 10 interviews. So now these 10 will communicate to other 10, then other 10.
10.
So it goes on like that. We cannot bring a change in just one day. And it has never been possible to bring a change in the society as a whole, because there are differences of opinion. And differences of opinion will always be there, right? So for right now, what we have to concentrate on is that as many people as we can motivate, or as many people as we can focus on, who whom we can change, or whom we can make understand what all this is about,
Yeah,
should be our priority, instead of focusing on the entire world. Like, because if we wait for the right time, then right time will never come. You have to
actually,
start with small steps, right? And step by step, it goes on to the entire world. It does reach that point, but obviously Rome wasn't built in a day, so it takes time, and uh, things take their own path, and things happen. And while making your efforts, consistent efforts, you don't even realize when so much happened. For example, like when I started with this book, not even the book, when I started just noting down these things, I never knew it would turn into a book. Then after publishing a book, I wasn't sure if people would accept this concept or not, but I got acceptance from so many people. In fact, many women benefited from it.
Yeah,
Many are,
it's a nice
you know,
book.
benefiting from. Yeah, thank you so much. So it's like that. Instead of thinking what will happen, or when we should start, or whether we should start or not, it's better you just start off. You just give it a kick if you think that there is something in it that can help yourself and others, and people around you, and bring a positive change. Yeah,
Obviously. Yeah, please discuss about like various hygienic procedures to be followed during these periods.
sure.
Yeah,
So the first thing, okay, I'll start with the very basics. So the first thing is that taking bath. I would say you should take bath regularly, but you shouldn't wash your hair.
yeah,
You shouldn't, especially on the first 3 days. It is said, but I would say that avoid it on the first 4 days,
yeah,
because some women, they do not start menstruating properly while they are on their first day. So I would suggest that for the first 4 days, just avoid washing your hair,
yeah,
because there is a nerve connection between your head, your brain, and your
yeah,
uterus. So
yeah,
again, the contractions in the uterus increase because of that, and it leads to a lot of pain and increased bleeding also.
yeah,
So the thing is, you should avoid washing your hair firstly. Secondly, uh, always take care that you are changing your pads in every 3 hours or 4 hours at max, even if it's not full. And apart from that, you should use pads of your size. Like women don't really focus on the size which they should buy. They just go randomly, and they buy like whatever they get or whatever they feel comfortable in. But the first thing to be focused on is the size, because not just because of the leakage protection thing I'm saying, but also because of the hygiene thing. Because if there are blood spills and all, then you will only have the problem, right?
yeah,
So you should always take care of the size. This is a very big problem. Like women don't understand that buying a proper size for themselves is very, very important. And then apart from this, you should obviously uh, change your clothes whenever you feel that you're sweating too much, because at this time you sweat also a lot. uh,
yeah, ma'am.
Many women do, not all, but yeah, many women do. So it's like you should uh, keep a track of the clothes you're wearing,
Yeah,
and you should change them regularly, because on a regular basis we can we tend to wear the same thing for another day also. Many times we do that, but on these days I would suggest you to keep changing.
yeah,
And Yeah, and obviously, like you can wear light clothes at this time. By light I mean not light in color, but by the texture of the material should be light. The material should be light so that you feel comfortable. And instead of wearing tight clothes, you can wear comfortable ones which are a bit loose. So
sure.
it will help you in better movement of your body, and you will feel
Yeah,
more relaxed. And yeah, talking about the hygiene, the other things, I would say that uh, I've seen, especially because I have lived in hostel for 3-4 years in my graduation, so I know, right, that women like they don't really take care. Not every woman takes care of the hygiene. So throwing the pads properly is a really big problem, and you simply have to wrap it up and you have to throw in a proper dustbin. That's it. So I don't know why many women don't, feel uh, 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 they don't feel comfortable in picking up their own pad,
Right.
because they feel hesitated to touch the blood, you might say. But it shouldn't be. It's your it's your responsibility to throw that, right? So I would just say that even if you don't like it, then at least do it as a responsibility.
Yeah.
So these are small things. Apart from this, um, you should just take care that whatever clothes you're wearing are comfortable enough, and they are they are also packing enough that there is no leakage again.
Yeah.
So you should take care of that. During these times you can go for dark colored clothes, and also avoid jeans and all, avoid a lot, very tight jeans. You can go for trousers, or you can go for joggers instead of very thick jeans. So that will really help.
Yeah.
So because it will lead to a lot of sweating and a lot of unhygienic growth of bacteria occurs, and fungal growth occurs if you wear so much tight clothes or thick clothes. So these are very small things that we need to take care of.
Yeah,
So yeah.
ma'am. Sure. Yeah. So, like, we'll end the session by our last question, ma'am. Like, what's your message for youth today?
Okay, so my message to everyone here, everyone out there, is that uh, consciousness is something that leads to spiritual awakening, and conscious menstruation is a concept that we need to focus on now.
Yeah.
Because if we do not realize the power of a woman, the one who gives birth to a child, or the one who is most conscious in the world, the most conscious creature of God, any female, be it a human or be it any other animal. So the female is the most conscious creature of uh, God. So we should, realize its powers, her powers, and we should let her grow the way she is. And women also shouldn't underestimate themselves. They should allow their, powers to come to role, and they should allow its execution. So this is my message for today,
Yeah.
that you just need to change the direction from negative to positive, and it can lead to wonderful changes.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. It has been a really very nice session with you today, and I hope
Thank
all
you
the,
so much.
yeah, ma'am, all the best for your next book if you are going on. So very thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sai.